So for example, if I wanted to take this corner over here, this little corner relationship, okay, and make that into a curtain wall, what I can do is as follows. I can go through and, what do I want to do? I don't want to have the curtain wall join at the corner with the solid material, because when a curtain wall joins with a solid material at a corner, then you have a very odd corner. It tries to miter it, it doesn't work very well. So what I will usually do is I'll come through and I'll modify. And what I'll do is choose this tool called the split tool, SL, and I can split this wall very close to the corner. Not all the way, but very close. And now with these two walls, I can make them a curtain wall. Oops, looks like I missed the other one there. Now we're going to talk about those curtain wall patterns in just a second, but the important thing to start out with is just thinking about how when we do join them, okay, the curtain wall typically likes to have a little bit of solid material on the side. What usually happens over here in the corner is where they do get together, they do form a nice join. Although, let me see, I'm not sure if it did it for me. If it didn't, I'll trim it and make it happen. I'll zoom to fit. We'll zoom in here. Didn't quite make it. Okay, so what I'm going to do to fix that is I'm going to trim this curtain wall up against that curtain wall, and it'll make a nice corner for me. So you'll learn, in fact, for all these corners and these joins, as opposed to pulling all the time, if you can trim, that'll do the best job of making a nice corner. It'll just mathematically do what it thinks it's supposed to. Okay, so we're not doing too awfully bad here. We can go through and start changing the pattern of the curtain wall a little bit and kind of customizing that. We showed you that a little bit. We're going to add a door and some windows to this curtain wall in just a little bit. But I also want to talk about a little bit of a problem you might see right at the bottom here, where, that curtain wall is kind of wrapping down over the floor. Okay, and that may or may not be the relationship we wanted to have. So very often if I have a nice two-story space, that's okay. I'd like to have a curtain wall that goes all the way up. But that little condition is something that tends to bother people. Okay, so one last sort of little note about curtain walls, though, is this. You might notice that I have a little bit of a problem where my curtain wall is actually lapping down over my floor. Okay, a lot of people don't like that because it kind of, doesn't look so good. So you get to this whole funny question of, okay, if the curtain wall shouldn't go all the way down past the floor, what should be at the bottom of the curtain wall? Can you have different sort of choices about this? Sometimes what I'll do is I'll actually just stop the curtain wall. The problem is right now is that the curtain wall has this little minus 10-inch offset. So I can put that back to 0, okay, which is okay. But now I have a little bit of a raw floor edge there. So if I do that, I might want to put a little fascia, I might want to put some sort of a metal material, just something to kind of cap it off and make it look a little bit better. So that's one way to handle it, is to do that. And it just really depends on what you want. If on the other hand, what you want to have happen is you actually want the shingles to go under there, okay, and just have that be the surface. Let me show you kind of a really cool trick for working with curtain walls. And that is as follows. I'll do it on the side over here. Got my curtain wall, or I got my nice little side wall there. That's looking pretty good. I'm going to put a curtain wall in here. Okay, it's going to sound strange, but well, how's this going to work? What I'm going to do is go to the upper level. I'm going to say that what I'm going to do is put a curtain wall in. Looks fine. I'm going to put it right on top of the existing wall. It's going to complain a little. It says highlighted walls overlap. We don't tend to like that. Okay, that'll work. I can cut the curtain wall or the regular wall with that. the nice thing about this is that if you take a curtain wall and you cut the other wall with it, okay, I apologize for fumbling with that. It does this. If you go through and change the properties of the curtain wall, for example, you want it to be 3 feet off, it just sort of moves it around within there very nicely. So this is a very nice case, or a way of basically taking a curtain wall that doesn't necessarily start at the floor, but starts a little bit higher, but still gives you the advantage that the curtain wall can go up to the roof and can attach to the roof and make this nice sloped glass and all that type of stuff. So yeah, it's a very useful technique to think about doing. Yes? In terms of the split will work vertically, but it doesn't work horizontally. So, yeah, good try. I tried to do that before, but it doesn't work. It only works vertically. So think about cutting curtain walls into, and they do a very nice job. It'll take care of all the quantities, everything about it will report properly. It does a good job of understanding what that relationship is. So again, if you want the curtain wall to go all the way down, but not quite cover the floor, you can just give it back to 0. And it'll go through and wrap that material around. So many fun things to play around with curtain walls.